This meeting is recorded. Okay, so from our previous class, we discussed about what is a VPN and what are the different types of VPNs like site-to-site, remote SSL VPN. We talked about uh, different phases of VPN. How do we do remote SSL versus site-to-site VPN tunnel? And then we discussed about multi-factor authentication. We have seen topics like authenticating with username, password, authenticating with certificates, authenticating with passcodes, one-time passcodes that comes to your phone, um, or the authenticating with biometrics. So those are part of the multi-factor authentication. And then we also have discussed about port security. We have seen how to apply a MAC address limit on a port. How do we make a MAC address sticky? And then how do we restrict that port for connecting a new PC to that specific port? And if some violation happen, we have seen shutting down that port automatically because there is a maximum limit of 3 in the lab. So any questions on the lab part, guys, or any questions on theory part from yesterday? Okay, we'll start ACLs, guys. We'll talk about access control list and what are the types of ACLs, like standard ACL and extended ACL. And we'll do a short lab on standard ACL and extended ACL. And then we'll also go to the wireless fundamentals after completing the lab. So let's start. ACL is access control list. Access control lists are the set of rules that are used most commonly to filter the network traffic. So let's say we have network devices, and those network devices need some packet filtering capabilities. Like your router or a firewall, they can do the packet filtering. So ACLs are applied on these network devices so that if the packet is coming or packet is leaving on the specific interface of a device, we can drop the packet or allow the packet. Let's say you have a router. And let's say you have a switch connected to this router. And then there are two PCs. Okay, and these PCs are connected to the switch, and this switch is connected. This PC is connected. I mean, this switch is connected to the router, and the router is connected to a server. Okay, so now when the packet is entering from this PC to the router, let's send some color. When the packet is entering from the PC to the router, we can block. Let's say if this PC is coming to the router, and then we can allow the traffic. So here the PC1 IP address can be blocked and PC2 IP address can be allowed to enter into the router, so that we can have the restriction that can be applied with the help of the ACL. ACL is nothing but like an validator whether to allow the packet or drop the packet. That is about the ACL. So there are two types of ACLs, guys. One is the standard ACL and the other one is extended ACL. Standard extended ACL. So let's start talking about the standard ACL. So standard ACL is like an ACL that is applied based on the source IP. So here, when the PC1, which is the source IP, which is, let's say the source IP is 10.0.0.1. This is the source IP and it's trying to go to 20.0.0.10. Okay, so we are blocking on the router with considering source IP. That is the standard ACL, and we are allowing the traffic based on the source IP. Let's say this is 10.0.0.5. So we are blocking the source IP and we are allowing the source IP. So if we are doing the source IP based filtering, that is called a standard ACL. And these ACLs are not powerful. The standard ACL is not powerful as the extended ACL, but it will take less resources in action. So, like I said, because you're doing the as per the source IP. So let's say this source IP is coming, it will match, okay, router, it's seeing this IP, I will block it. It's seeing this IP, I'll allow it. So there is no much computation involved on this one. So it's less resource effective, but it is very, it is not as effective as the extended ACL. You'll understand that here in a second. So in extended ACL, you can do more precise network traffic. For example, let's say on the server, there is a port 80, which is running on web server like HTTP port, and there is another port which is like 22 for SSH. There are two services running on this specific server. So here, instead of doing at the IP level, if this PC is trying to go to the destination IP 20.0.0.10, we can block this port and we can allow this port. So we are not only doing at the IP level, not just doing like blocking this traffic going all the way to the server, like not at the IP level, we can also do at the port level. So extended ACL will give you more control because you can block at the specific port level, and this can be applied for the destination IP and the destination port. So you are not doing anything at the IP level in the extended ACL, you are doing at the port level to control the traffic, how you wanted to allow or deny at the port level. Let's say there is one PC that it wants to do the file transfer to this PC. You can still do it with the help of the 22 port because 22 is allowed. But let's say this PC is trying to go to a web server, which, like, let's say the server is hosting a website, let's say firewall.com, any website, okay? And this website will not be reached because this port is blocked with the same IP. So 20.0.0.10 colon 22, that is allowed. 20.0.0.10 colon 80 is blocked, right? So that way you will be able to control the traffic. So extended ACL will give you more granular control in allowing or denying the traffic. Standard ACL will be just blocking at the IP to IP level, but it is less resource effective. Okay. Any questions on standard ACL and extended ACL, guys? Any questions, guys? Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, let's take a small lab and then complete the standard ACL, and also let's do a small lab for the extended ACL. Okay, so let's do the lab. It's taking a while. 1 second. Let's see. Okay. I hope you'll be able to see my screen. So what I'm doing, I'm taking two PCs. I'll take a switch. I'm gonna pick a router. We'll make these connections. I'm putting a server here. Okay, so let's do ten dot zero zero dot 10, 10.0.0.11. Let's do this as 10.0.0.1, and this as 20.0.0.10. Let's do this as 20.0.0.1. Okay, so this is a different subnet. Let's break it down like that. This is a different subnet, and this is a different subnet. So now what we want to do, we want to block I should write it on the router, right? So block 10.0.0.11 reaching 20.0.0.10. Hello, 10.0.0.10 reaching 20.0.0.10. This one, and this one. Hello, this one block. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and define our basic setup. What I'm going to do, IP address default gateway of that 10.0.0.10 55.255.255.0. Default gateway is 10.0.0.1. This one. Epconfig 10.0.0.11. 0. Okay, so this part is done. I'm going to get a VLAN 10 here just to allow that VLAN. VLAN 10 interface of phase 0/1. Actually, I'm going to do interface range so that I can do configuration on both of them. 0/1 to 2, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, and then do interface of phase 0/3, switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10. Shut and then no shut. Okay, so switch part is done. Go ahead and do the router and then define the router gateways on both the interfaces. That's it. Interface 0/0/0.10. Encapsulation .1Q 10. Yep. IP address 10.0.0.1 55.255.255.0. Okay, and then IP interface 0/0/1, creating the other subnet. IP address 20.0.0.1 55.2 55.255.0, and then no shut. So this part, let's go ahead and define the IP address here, and then let's see if it's able to ping the default gateway. Config 20.0.0.10. Oh wow, really? Looks like it quitted the. Sorry guys, I have to do it again. Yeah, this packet result kills me sometimes. All right, I'll make sure I'll save this time. Okay, so PC, I'll take a switch. I'm going to take a router. I'm going to take a server. Make the connections. make the connections, bring it up. This is one network, this is a different network. Let's give the IP addresses 10.0.0.10, 10.0.0.11, 20.0.0.10, 20.0.0.1, 10.0.0.1. Okay, so this should be allowed. This should be blocked. Okay, so let me do a quick save. ACR and okay, so repeat what I already done. I'm going to repeat. Divided by 0, 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.11, okay. Alright. VLAN 10 interface range FA 0/1 to 2 switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 10. Interface FA 0/3 switch port mode trunk. Switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10. All right, and go into the router. No share. Creating a subinterface. IP address 10.0.0.1. Encapsulation .1Q10. And then interface gig 0/0/1. IP address 20.0.0.1. 55.255.255.0. No share. I'm going to do right mem. To save the config, go here. Config 20.0.0.10. 255.255.255.0. Now the settings 20.0.0.1. All right, so now let's see. Let's go ahead and ping the server. So now I'm pinging from 10.0.0.10. I'm pinging the server 20.0.0.10. Okay, so PC 0, 10.0.0.10 is able to ping. Now let's go to PC 11. This one 20.0.0.10. It's also pinging. So now both the PCs are pinging this server. So PC 0 is pinging the server. PC 1 is also pinging the server. Now let's go ahead and configure the ACL on the router to block PC1 and allow PC0. Okay, so conf p. So to configure the ACL, we have to configure the standard ACL. There is a list of numbers that you wanted to follow. Okay, so let's go ahead. So you can do access list and then define. So you see 1 to 99 are the standard ACL. So if you want to create a standard ACL, you can use 1 to 99 any number. So I'm going to use ACL number 1. Okay, and then do permit and then do a question mark. So if I do a question mark, I'll get my option. So I can match like host address, single host address. So I'm going to do host and then do 10.0.0. Single host, right? So which is 10. So I permitted the host and then do access list 1, deny host 10.0.0.11. Okay, so you can check that by doing show run you can do show IP access list. It says, okay, you are doing permitting host 10 and then denying the host 11. Okay, so now let's apply this ACL to this interface because the traffic is coming on this interface, right? So let's go ahead and apply that. So interface config interface gig 0/0/0.10 IP access group, and you have to define the access group number that you created. You defined access group number 1, and then we will put the direction. So the traffic is coming into the router on this port. So we have to do inbound. So I'm going to do inbound. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and ping from this here. So here it's pinging. Okay, now let's go ahead and ping it from here. It says destination host unreachable. Earlier it was able to ping that it got a response, but here it says destination host unreachable. You can do that and then go ahead and check the simulation. You can do it and then you can generate the traffic from here. So packet generated from here now, it went to the switch. Switch will send to the router and the router should block it here. So you should be seeing the red mark here. See, you see a red color mark that it's getting dropped here and there is no response. It's showing the response that destination host unreachable and you got the response from 10.0.0.1, which is the router interface. Destination host unreachable. So here we block the entire IP address of the source that it cannot reach anywhere else of the route outside the router. So we blocked it completely. So now with a similar example, let's do how a extended ACL look like. So now what we wanted to do, let's remove the ACL, whatever we created, and let's try to ping it again. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Let's make it real time. No, sorry, interface gig 0/0/0.10. No IP access group 1. We have to define the direction. Okay, so we removed it. So I removed the ACL applied on the interface. Okay, so let's try to ping it now. Okay, it's getting the reply from now. It's getting the reply. Earlier it's destination host unreachable. Now I removed the ACL. So now let's go to the router. Okay, and then let's go to the server and then let's create some sort of service on this one. Let's say HTTP service is there. So I'm gonna do HTTPS service here. Okay, I'm gonna do HTTP on. Okay, and then I will do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one thing. We got the on. So let's go ahead and check now. Let's go to this one and then go to a browser. So here I'm gonna do HTTP 20.0.0.10. I'm going to do go. I'm seeing welcome to Cisco Packet Tracer. I have seen like a small page image, like this is the URL that is running on this web server. I was able to hit it from here. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the server. Let's say there is another service. Let's say there is a service called say FTP. Okay. So here, what's the email? Speak FTP. Okay. FTP is better. So here we have FTP Cisco as username and the FTP service is on. So I'm going to go here and then do command prompt telnet 20.0.0.10 and then FTP port is 21. It says trying and then it says port is open. So I'm doing a telnet to this server and this port is open. So what I'm going to do is for this server, for this PC now, (10.0.0.10) is the source. It should be able to ping 20.0.0.10. Okay, it should be telnet to port 21, but it should not be able to hit port 80 or HTTP service. Okay, so this is my requirement. So this PC0, it should be able to ping this server. It should be able to telnet on port 21 FTP server, but it should not be able to hit the port 80. So currently, if you observe on this PC, if you go to this PC again, and if you go to the browser, web browser, okay, I'm going to go here and then I'm going to do 20.0.0.10 column 80, which is same as HTTP port. It says it is opening this page, Cisco Packet Tracer page, right? So after putting an ACL, this page should be blocked. Okay. So now let's do that with the help of the extended ACL on the router. So I'm going to go here on free. Now IP access list. Now I'm doing extended ACL. So I'm going to do extended as the name and then define the number. I can do numbers from 100 to 199. I'm going to do 100. And then hit enter. So now I'm in the extended ACL. So now I'm going to do permit. I'm going to do TCP port because I'm not doing anything IP based. So I'm going to do permit TCP source address 10.0.0.10. Okay. And then the wildcard mask. Wildcard mask is nothing but the it's a difference of the subnet mask. So it's a single host 0.0.0.0. And then define destination IP address. The destination IP address is 20.0.0.10. And then define the wildcard mask of the destination 0.0.0.0. And then it says it is matching what is the port number that you wanted to match. I'm going to do equal to. I'm going to match equal to the port number 21. Okay, so that port is allowed. And also I'm going to allow another port. let's do one thing. Let's also do permit ICMP, which is not a TCP or UDP, right? So I'm going to do permit ICMP and then do host 10.0.0.10 and then destination again host 20.0.0.10. So ICMP is allowed. Okay, and then now I want to deny the port 80. So for that, deny TCP. Now I have to define the source IP address, right? So I can simply do host, okay, and I can do 10.0.0.10 and then host 20.0.0.10 equal to you can do port 80, okay, and then define permit any. Remaining anything is allowed. Okay. So now let's see what is the configuration that we configure. Show run, or I can do show IP access list. So I created external ACL. So first I did permit on port FTP, which is 21 port, and then I allowed ICMP, which is for the ping. I denied the www, which is port 80. That is what I denied. So remaining everything is permitted. So this is the ACL that I created. Now I'm going to apply this ACL to this this interface. Okay. So I'm going to go to config interface gig 0/0/0.10 IP access group 100. Okay. So now let's go here. Let's see if we can able to ping it. It is not breaking. 1 second. All right, while it breaks, let's do the test for the web browser and then hit the same port. Earlier, port 80 was working. We were able to see the Cisco packet tracer web page. Now we blocked the port 80. Now let's see what happens on that specific web browser page. Why is this taking so long to open? Okay, so now I'm going to do HTTP 20.0.0.10. Trying to reach that page. It says request timed out. Earlier, you got a web page that's saying that welcome to packet tracer, but now because we blocked the, remember, if our requirement is it should not be able to hit port 80 or HTTP. So it says request timed out now. Earlier, we were able to go to this web page, but now this web page is blocked by the router that they can no longer access this website. So that is how we can block a specific condition. And let's check if that ping and telnet we can do that or not. Yeah, I'm not sure why this telnet is not breaking. Let's do one thing. Config. Okay. I did shut down the port and then brought it up. Let us bring it back up. Now I go to the switch port and it says FA0/1. Do shut and then do no shut. Let's see if yeah, for some reason it got stuck at this point. I think I had to. Okay, now it's gone. Okay, all right, cool. Right, now let's see ping 20.0.0.10. See, I was still able to ping it. I was still pinging it, but if I go to the and if you see, I was still able to. Let's do telnet 20.0.0.10 and then do port 21. I'm still able to hit that specific FTP port. But if you observe the web browser, okay, I'm gonna go here and then do 20.0.0.10 and hit go. It's trying. It's request timed out again. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here and then remove that ACL from that specific interface. Okay, so interface gig 0/0/0.10 no IP access group 100. I remove that. Now let's go ahead here and then try to click on go again. See now it immediately opened as the web page that it's trying to go to the web server, it is able to reach. So that's how you can block or allow the traffic in terms of what you wanted to allow or what you want to deny in terms of the ACLs. Are you guys able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, to summarize, a standard ACL is at the IP level. You're going to block a complete IP to IP communication. It does not give you to control the port level. Whereas the extended ACL on a single server, you can have multiple services like web service, FTP service, email service. You can block one service and you can allow another service with the help of the extended ACL with port numbers. Okay. So I think we are little delayed to start a new topic on the wireless side. I thought this lab will be done in 30 minutes, but looks like it took almost 40-50 minutes. So I'm not gonna rush into things. We still have 5 classes and we have next week, all next week, and then we can wrap it up as per the plan. So I don't want to rush things. Let's stop it here. Do you guys have any questions on these two topics? Shared ACL, extended ACL. Okay, if you don't have anything, thanks for joining, guys. I guess you should have received a class or a test for most of you guys. So if you got the test, please work it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to text that in the group, and then we'll see how we can resolve that. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for joining, guys. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.